Does MCC pick up another one for Scotty Mortimer?
That's now 10-9 on that rink. And 𝗣𝗿𝘁 is 2-7. So 𝗣𝗿𝘁 is still in command over there. Great bowl by Hubba. The Hubs.
Didn't look like he
Just
got
down.
the result with the
No, just still down.
body language of Gary Kelly, but
So
great effort nonetheless.
MCC hold the shot.
So Luke ALO 𝗣𝗿𝘁 a full 2 ends at least behind after some dead ends earlier. I expect that trend to continue. Having said that, Corey Wedlock, Dean O'Neill, Gary Kelly, Brad Marin all don't mind giving it a whack. So that is a lovely bowl from Mike Haig.
Yes.
Tommy Ristic looks away a little unhappy with a bowl that's sailed 6 yards past. Benny Hubber on the mat with purpose.
Oh.
Gives it a fair old rip too, Benny Hubber.
Yep.
Mike Haig just needs to see how good his memory is. It's looking pretty good. Does it have the steam?
Short, but it's a good bowl.
About a foot short of where he wanted, but great track. So Moama Bowls Club JR, good supporters of ours and certainly assist us with powering the stream for BVTV. You're heading up there for the BPL tomorrow?
No, I head up on Tuesday.
On Tuesday?
From Tuesday to Friday. So it's a great program. It's a great competition.
A great venue to host it at.
They do a great job.
Gary Kelly.
Great job.
And that jack is out of bounds. We are going to play this one again.
Replay it.
We'll
Spot
see
on.
what skips to side. Nobody seems to mind. Just needs
They're
someone to
gonna
make a
leave it there,
decision.
I think. Oh no, taking them back.
We are going back to play from the same end we came.
Let's see a choice of the skips as to what they do after a dead end.
So Bundoora and Gary Kelly skipping picked up the last 4 ends in a row, including a 5 on the last end. So, in fact, Brendan Gallagher's rink has actually only won the 1 end now. Thankfully for them, it was a 5. It was a big score. But they'll be looking to turn that around and put a few consecutive ends together.
Much better end. A bit short.
Great track, but as you say, JR, a little short.
Yeah.
Who's been the best bowler you've ever seen, or best bowler you've ever umpired, JR, or marked? You've had the pleasure of going to Com Games, World Championships, the whole lot. You will have seen the world's greatest. Not an easy one to pick from, given there's so many, is there?
This is a lot.
As we see Simon Norton sail through a little, but not a bad spot to finish.
Probably Karen Murphy's the best female bowler I've seen consistently over.
Of course, the games record holder for Australia.
Yep.
Now, 𝗣𝗿𝗁 also holds the Australian indoor title record for the females. Lovely bowl from 𝗍𝗁. I'm going to say she's got 6 or 7 of them.
Yep.
I might be wrong, but of course now within the coaching ranks for the Australian team.
She is assistant coach to Gary Willis.
𝗍𝗁 getting the battle of the leads. Simon not finding it 100% yet. Liam just a little heavy. Not a bad spot to finish though. The line is terrific. Lucas Protopappas, of course, endorsing those comments for Karen Murphy. He is her #1 fan.
Yes, I think he's got a poster up in his bedroom.
I'd imagine so. Speaking of #1 fans, I'm not a bad fan of that Scott Majon bowl. That's in for shot.
Yeah, good ball.
No fuss from Scott Majon, just draw bowls, nice and close.
He was at Bendigo yesterday supporting his teammate, Tommy.
Tommy Ristic. Yeah. Some great games yesterday. I saw Nick Dawes and co win the men's pairs on an extra end.
Yeah, that's great.
And what I hear is Judy Nadella won the singles and then almost backed it up with the pairs.
Almost. Once again,
very
the last
close
bowl.
And one.
They got a 5 in the last end to win by 1.
In the end, yeah.
It's extraordinary.
Up by 4, and unfortunately the opponents get a 5, but that is the way it happens.
Scott just knocked out his own bowl.
Yeah, I do. I mean, he may still have shot, but
it's close.
It is close.
I think the skips will determine who's got shot.
Lucas just confirming he does have a poster of Karen on his wall.
I know.
Alongside, of course, the St Kilda Football Club, which he's a big supporter of.
We got 2 of the colours right anyway.
Correct. So Benny Hubber on the mat.
Benny Hubber.
Right-handed backhand. Looking to come in off the Scott Majon bowls. Of course, if he's a bit narrow, that's not a problem either.
If he's got the weight, he'll come right in. Yep. Got shot.
Draws a high 5 and a low 5 for his super effort.
I'm sure Michael has something to say with his bowl.
This looks a pretty good track coming in here too. Just a touch heavy for that line. But not a bad sider for Mike. He'll be able to correct with his second.
Going back to my favourite men bowlers, probably I've seen consistently play well would be Alex Marshall, Shane McElroy from New Zealand.
Heck of a good bowler. Shannon McElroy, of course, won the world
title,
his home world title.
Yep. Aaron Sheriff, top bowler, and of course at the moment, Corey Redlock.
We are blessed with talent all over the world, aren't we?
We're very, very lucky. And they're good people as well. It's just a great benefit to the sport.
Fiona Hall just letting us know Gary Kelly played Ryan Bester in Queensland Premier League last Saturday and there were 7 ends behind the others. And obviously Ryan Bester with one of the best drives. Also
Absolutely
a heck of an
great
underrated
player.
draw bowler and an all-round good guy. So there's room for dead ends aplenty.
Ryan Bester as a 16 or 17-year-old, long-haired, young bowler at Melbourne in 2006 for the Commonwealth Games. I think that was his first Commonwealth Games.
Yep. Looked like he'd come straight out of a Pearl Jam concert.
He did. But now, well and truly settled in at Broadbeach.
Been there 10 years now, JR. So I saw the posts on the weekend. Yep, good on him. A good
great
fella.
bowls coordinator there.
Yep, certainly is. Not much he doesn't know about bowls.
Nah.
Gary Kelly needs to hurry here.
Doing a great job. Perfect weight. Bowl in front.
Penny Hubber signals 2, so.
One to Benny, one to Carey. I'm sure Brendan will have something to do with changing that.
Very deliberate setup from Brendan Gallagher. Looks like he's wanting it to go. Gary Kelly looking to pile on the pressure here.
Stepping back off the mat, a bit of movement
behind,
or the flies are annoying him.
It's a much better option than trying to go through with your shot when you're annoyed about something.
Yes.
Takes
lovely
10
weight
seconds.
Again.
Needs to turn now.
He's happy with it.
That.
It's a lovely weight. It's only 2, I think. 2, yep.
Mike Haig confirms it's 2 so far, of course. Brendan Gallagher really found it a couple of Wednesday nights ago for the region singles final.
A magnificent game.
He's actually asking Mike Haig what shot to play there, so that was interesting.
Mike Hayes probably a very most improved player over the last few seasons. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the Yarra regional side this year.
Well, I don't think that's the way that Brendan Gallagher wanted to do it. In fact, he turns around and just sort of waves it off and says sorry. Gary Kelly gives it a bit of a shake of the head. Of course, that's the etiquette at this level of bowls. When you do get a bit of a fortunate one, you certainly don't yahoo and carry on.
You don't
just apologise. Say
clap wicks.
Sorry about that. Look to be in for shot.
MCC are calling their team together, middle of the ring, to have a bit of a chat.
Not a bad option. It's just the second end that they've won out of 9. It's 14-6.
So they'll be talking about encouraging one another. Brendan telling them not to be short.
So is that the pep talk they needed? 14-6 down?
Well, sensible thing to do, to have a chat.
Yep, absolutely.
Talk about not change the length at the end.
So Catherine's just joined us. Good afternoon, Catherine. Hope you enjoy the coverage. Of course, we're covering Bundoora RSL v MCC here. On our streamed rink for MCC, we've got Simon Norton using Henselite XG size 4, then a light blue variety. Second to him is Scotty Majon. He is using an XG size 3, the white and light blue. Almost a white bulb, but got a little white blue speckle in it. Mike Haig is using a Taylor SR size 4, black in colour. And Brendan Gallagher's using the Henselite XGs. Size 3 and they're orange in colour, so a good opening bowl there from Simon Norton. He certainly knows how to use those Henselite XG size 4. They're up against a pretty strong Bundoora combination. Adrian Marchioli's using Optima size 3. You can see them coming down the green now. They're white with a navy blue stripe in them. Liam Turner plays 2. He's using Optima size 3 with a white and light blue. Zadie just pulls out a touch short. Benny Hubbard's using Drumline XGs. So Henselite XGs. They're blue and yellow halved. Gary Kelly is using some Optima size 4. They're navy and orange. We'll keep you updated with other scores and other matches. Of course, Mentone got up over Altona last night. Melbourne had a strong win over Lilydale. And Croydon, we believe, have got up over Yarraville Footscray. We're yet to see a score there, so we'll keep you updated. I'll just bring it through now. They won by 3, so thank you very much. 12-6, so one rink, but enough to get up overall by 3, giving them a 12-6 victory.
Wow.
So that's Croydon over Yarraville Footscray. Deer Park are playing Clayton, so if you are out at Deer Park and want to give us a progress score in the chat, by all means do. They had a 3:30 start today, so slightly later than the other games that were 1 o'clock, and indeed much later than Mentone, who played Altona last night. Scotty Majon. Just through as I make a major boo-boo with the end numbers on this one. Is of course 9 ends, not 2.
Corey's
not bad.
Corey's now 17-4.
They played 9 ends also. It's now 10-all on the O'Neill Mortimer rink. They're having a good battle. They've played 9 ends.
I think on Corey's rink, I think they're 3 up. The last bowl from Brad, see what he can do.
J. by Norris continues to lead up over there. They are 8-2 over Luke Aiello's rink. They've played 7 ends.
So at least 2 on Corey's rink. Brad had no impact on the head. 2. So it's now 19-4.
That is a big margin, and we can tell you Corey Wedlock, we believe, has only dropped 1 end. Colin Squires has joined us from the UK, JR. Lovely to have you on board as Liam Turner puts in an absolute belter. Not quite enough for shot, but as the support from the locals.
Be over there getting ready for the Com games in Birmingham.
Yes. Not too far away now. We're starting to see some teams named. I saw the Scottish Para team named last night. So exciting times for all. Of course, the Australian team's not announced just yet.
The trials up at Mount Tambourine Bowls Club.
Correct.
Just being prepared to replicate possible conditions at Birmingham.
Yep. Very difficult to go from the southern hemisphere to the northern.
Very difficult.
Vastly different greens, of course, which means a different style of play, quite often a different model of bowl and a different technique.
Yep.
Just to make it a little bit harder, and of course you come across some excellent, excellent competition.
Yes, the best.
So the Simon Norton bowl is still a shot bowl. It's flanked by 2 of Liam Turner's. Benny Hubber will be trying to get around the Marchioli bowl and pump through Simon Norton. It didn't quite get there.
Right.
Potentially opens it up to come in on the other hand now.
Here comes Chocolates. Great bowl by Mike. Great bowl.
That is an absolutely beautiful bowl.
Fantastic
We
bowl.
see on the replay here, comes through a nice little port, rests in just behind the jack.
Yeah, great bowl.
Chocolates, obviously making sense, the nickname. 𝗣𝗿𝗁 Chocolates. Not that I'd know what they are.
No, they're great chocolates. Maybe they should be a sponsor.
So Gary Kelly and Benny Hubbard just working through the different options here.
Yep.
Mike 𝗣𝗿𝗁's bowl probably makes it a little bit more difficult, given they really don't want to touch on the jack anymore. It's going back to Mike's bowl.
Yeah. Bit of weight here.
That's the second option, of course. A little wide from Benny Hubbard.
Just
pulled that one.
Benny's got his own plumbing business. He's a hard-working young man. About to be a dad.
Exciting times. So very nice little compact little head building over on the Corey Wedlock Brad Marin rig.
Yeah.
Get the odd shot of that. I think it's probably too far in from the mat, but I can tell you there are a number of balls around the jack.
Bundoора's holding shot.
Courtesy of a Tony Sherwill bowl. And chopper, Josh Corliss. See what he can add. Dean O'Neill picks up at 2 for successive ends to lead 12-10.
Yep. Be interesting to see what Brendan does here.
This looks on track.
Yeah.
Whether it's 1 in, 1 out, I'm not sure, but
So that's 3 to MCC at this stage. Very good head.
Three or 2, JR. That might be. It's Liam Turner that Brendan Gallagher's resting on, and Liam Turner the other side. So it is difficult to tell from this angle, and if I had any money, I'd be betting on JR's call of what it is. You don't get to being the top of the umpires. Umpiring at Commonwealth Games and World Championship and Australian level for many years without knowing what your eyes are telling you. Very difficult to tell with the Gary Kelly setup whether or not he's going a drive or draw, but might have been in two minds himself there.
Yeah.
See Brendan Gallagher just wondering if he comes in off the Bundoora front bowl, the 𝗣𝗁 bowl, whether or not he can get it. And then also in his consideration is what can they do?
We've got Corey's bowl over here. Magnificent. Oh, just out.
So Brendan Gallagher on the mat now. Let's see what he can do.
Yep.
Needs to rip in now. Not a bad spot to miss to, though. We saw Gary's first bowl. He didn't run at it, so...
Have to carry for a bit of Kelly magic.
Bring the house down if he does. It's not a bad track. Needs to hold. Just going to dip under.
Yeah, it's under.
Through the gap.
Two down. Two up to MCC. So they've won 2 ends in a row now for the first time.
They do after the little pre-rink, pre-rink, mid-rink.
Mid-rink chat.
Conference. Stitched 2 together on the trot. Can't argue with that. They still trail 8-14, but it's positive.
Look at the Corey bowl. Oh.
There is only centimetres in it. Starting to get a little cool in the shade, JR.
It is.
We'll see the shade from the clubhouse get out to this TV rink mid-green, and it'll get to the mat and the head end in the next probably 25-30 minutes. We'll see a bit of a change in the green. When that happens, it'll slow up. As JT often tells me. So we see Brad Marin go for a drive, collects through the head, doesn't change it too much.
Back took out their bowl, I think.
Yep, still be shots to Bundoora. JT always tells me that it's Joshy Thornton for those playing at home. When the sun goes away, the grass stands up a little, trying to find some heat.
Absolutely does.
Slows it up. So
the leaves stand up. I did a green inspector's course a couple of weeks ago, run by Peter Bowman down at Keilor Bowls Club.
Yeah,
and a lot about grass that I didn't really know much about.
There you go.
It's great.
Another string to your bow. Simon Norton just asking this one to hurry. His first one was very, very good. Next one's just a little shy.
Adrian Bowler's tracking down nicely. It's at the back where the skips like them. And second shot. MCC's holding here.
So here's some good support for Dean O'Neill. Still a bit to go there. Scotty Mortimer looks like he's got one. It looks like down behind the mat there's still one each, so Scotty Mortimer's got 2 and Dino's still got 1, but played a very good bowl there.
And Corey Redlock's now at 23-4.
Continues on his merry way, doesn't he?
I'm sure Brad would not be enjoying this. He's a very keen competitor.
Nice effort there by Liam Turner. Won't quite be enough for shot, but a good effort all the same.
Yeah.
Playing a lot of short ends on the Marin Wedlock rink, and that's the length that they've been able to dictate, with the MCC rink only getting 1 end so far.
Oh, great bowl, Scott.
Yep. Great effort.
MCC holding.
And again, while it's off camera, collection, you might just see it as Gary Kelly moves out of the way. The 4 bowls on the Wedlock Marin rink from the leads are having an absolute ding-dong battle. See what Liam Turner can do in reply to the Scotty Majon bowl. Showing promise, but just not cutting enough. Not a bad miss, though. Mike Haig on the mat, right-handed forehand. Looks to be a pretty good area. Doesn't really want... Oh, it's hard to argue with that, really, isn't it? Hubber on the drive. Clears a bit of room. O'Neill picks up another one for 3 ends on the trot. 𝗣𝗿𝘁 picks up one. And Benny Hubber's back on the drive. Well, gives himself a little slap, Benny Hubber, not happy with his 2 missed drives.
MCC got 1 or 2.
I think it's 3 at this stage. And if Brendan Gallagher can hold, could well be 4, but... Yep, going to say that's 4 at this stage. Gary Kelly has 2 pills to go.
Yep. Just to cut down with his first ball.
Well, that was the better option even. It's half the jack. We can see big weight here from Gary Kelly. Halves the jack straight out of bounds. And we will replay this end.
Taking the bowls back.
Great option, great bowl. Holding 4 for MCC. They now find themselves having to set up again.
Corey's 1 down. Down his last ball.
Good battle between 𝗣𝗿𝘁, 𝗣𝗿 as well. We see 𝗣𝗿 just pick up another one there.
It's down to 3.
We are just on halfway through this one. The difference is chiefly the Corey Wedlock rink. Handy little opener from Simon Norton. Just shy of Jack High. Brad Marin picks up one at the literal halfway mark. Let's see this one, 53-32 in favour of Bundoora.
So the overall score is 53 Bundoora, 31 MCC, and we're just about halfway through the game. 41 ends out of 84.
Lovely bowl by Simon Norton.
Yes, he's bowled well the last 2 ends.
Yeah, he probably was losing the battle of the leads early, but he's certainly the last few ends, as you say, he's certainly probably turned the tables.
Now. Certainly on top, makes a huge difference to a game.
Sure does. So we see the bowls tracking through both sun and shade now. Got him on not a bad track, and really the job of the second is to get anything in behind. He's done that.
Yep. See what Liam can do. He looks pretty happy. Oh.
Bowl wide of where he wanted, obviously looking to remove the Simon Norton bowl.
See what Scott does.
Not a bad track coming in. Little
Great
kiss on the jack. Scott. Beautiful bowl.
Great bowl.
Well, we end up in a very similar position to where we were before.
Yeah.
MCC holding at least 3. Probably just 3 at the moment.
Big ask of the skip of young Liam.
Yep.
But he's certainly got the capabilities of doing it.
Yep, just get all 3 of them, no problem. There's a lot of Liam Turner supporters in behind us, so if he hits this, expect the roof to come off. Nope. Just wide. Big call from his skipper.
Yep. Good to have faith in all of your players.
Absolutely. And when you've got the quality of cattle in front of you, you know that they can all play these shots. So see Magic Mike. Mike Haig, Magic we'll call him, as I was told to call him from some of his teammates before the match. So if you're listening on the replay, boys, Magic. He's actually taking a very good track down.
Great
Happy
bowler.
to roll over Simon Norton's one, and he's done that. Does make the target a little wider though. Benny Hubbard.
Be interesting to see if Gary asked Benny Hubbard to do the same as he asked Liam Turner to do.
Well, Benny actually missed a couple of his drives, so he won't be full of confidence with it, but the way you turn that around is to have another go at it.
Yep.
We expect that's what he'll do.
Yep.
All in front of the jack, so really drive is the option. Here it goes. Just wide again. So Magic Mike, though, as cool as you like, is just thinking, well, I'll just put another one in here. Has to be a bit careful here at this speed. Yep.
Yep, good
Tucks
spot.
the jack away. That's
good spot.
a very
Well
good
hidden.
result. So the shot for Benny Hubber now is to follow that Mike Haig with a drive, obviously. Try and take that onto the Simon Norton bowl. If he's a little bit wide, that's not the end of the world, or a little bit narrow on his backhand.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not the result he wanted. Careers into the Bundoora RSL bowls. MCC holding 4. They've got one back catcher. Bundoora with only 2 bowls on the rink. Bit of a loose head on the Corey Wedlock Brad Marin rink. Probably the first one I've seen that's covering a bit of distance.
Yep.
As we say, if you are in the area of Bundoora RSL, drop in. There is some real talent on display. Brendan Gallagher adding and adding. It is the best part of a 3-bowl target, maybe even a touch more. Gary Kelly with weight. Well, gets one out, really doesn't change a lot. Brendan Gallagher's got to work out, does he want to keep adding and obviously not wanting to widen the target, or does he go for a little bit of safety? Yep, probably wanted to miss that bowl of Scotty Majon and just get around to be able to have the best back. But nonetheless, it's not a bad spot. If Gary Kelly can hit it, in the worst case they've got his 1. Gary Kelly has missed. So this will be 4 to MCC. Confirmed by Magic Mike Haig. We played 11 ends here of this match of Gary Kelly v Brendan Gallagher. 4 there is a big end for the MCC team. They've now got 3 ends on the trot. And a couple of big scores in there with a 4 and a 5, so Simon Norton continues to turn the screws. Another good effort from Simon Norton. He really is starting to find it very well. He's a little low 5, receives a little low 5 from Scotty Majon. Adrian Marchioli comes in with a bomb. Corey Wedlock just showing his human as he misses one. Not by much too, I might add. Bundoora still at. Yeah, Dylan, it's been a tough day for the Brad Marin rink. And in fairness, coming up against, as we've mentioned a few times, arguably Australia's best at the moment. I think it might have been one more to Bundoora on the Wedlock rink, but we will update that when they do update the scoreboard. Luke picks up another one. Played 10 ends over there. Still trailing. (4-9). Of course, up against one of Victoria's best in 𝗣𝗿𝘁 Norris. As this rink is almost all in shade. In the mat end and half of the green, just down near the head there's still a little bit of sun. So that will change the way the green reacts. Liam Turner just promoting an MCC bowl, which will not please him greatly. See what Magic Mike can do. No change. Favourite's just MCC holding one with a Marchioli bowl. Second shot, well, it would be a bit close with the second of the Simon Norton bowls in behind. So we'll call it one and a measure.
Yep, one to measure.
Not a bad track here.
Oh.
I don't think it's going to change too much, but weight was good.
It was a great comeback by this rink. Great comeback.
Yeah, they peeled off 3 ends in a row, 7 shots. So we were 14-5, they've turned to 14-12, so holding one here. Kelly just asking, perhaps play with a touch more purpose. You can come up through your own or indeed through Adrian Marchioli's bowl. Worst case scenario, you spit it through and take the Norton bowl out. Or bring the jack with, so some options. Perhaps a little high at that weight.
Oh.
Actually, Nestle's in not a bad home, but
No.
really no harm, no foul. It was one in and one out more than anything else. Gallagher stalking this one intently. Looks to be a pretty good track. Just needs to clear the front pole. Well, I think that's the way he designed it.
Yep. Great bowl.
It's always an option. Gary asking that to turn. It ain't going to from there.
Oh.
No change. Still
No
2
change.
to MCC.
Still 2 to MCC. Which will make the scores level.
Dean O'Neill adds another one. Played 12 ends there. It's 14 to 10. Corey Wedlock holding one. There's a Josh Corliss bowl just next to it, so there could be a couple there.
Could be 4.
Could be 3, yeah, could be 4. They continue on their merry way on that Wedlock rink. So Brendan Gallagher after conference with Mike Haig. I don't know if that was in the plan. Touch narrow. Gary Kelly getting the instructions to, rip it in. Not super big weight. It's not going to come back from there, or is it? A little edge. Straight through the eye, diddle. So it's definitely 2 to MCC. It's whether or not they can find the third one. No. Mike signals 2 to MCC. That's 4 on the trot. And as JR quite rightly said, if they hold that 2, we are level pegging here. 14 shots apiece.
Luke picked up a 3 over there, so 7-9.
As JR said, 7-9 now on the Luke Aiello rink. They've been behind all day. They're starting to make a comeback, as we're seeing from the Gallagher MCC rink here. Well, Simon Norton continuing, and this is a large part of what's made the difference. He's been able to get on top, if not level at times, with Adrian Marchioli. And that's enabled the rest of the rink to be able to set up. Things just not going the way of Brad Marin as he punches the bowl through and somehow finds holes galore. And they pull out 3 so far for Bundoora, measuring to see if they can find some more. Don't think they're doing a lot wrong over there, MCC. They just keep running into trouble. Couldn't quite see that signal from where I was, but I'm going to guess it was a 4. So we'll update that board as soon as we know, but it looks like 𝗣𝗿𝘁's just picked up another 4. And Rod Peterson, you are spot on. Simon has his last few ends. I know he's got one little short one on this end, but the last few ends that MCC have just strung 4 in a row together, he has been on heat. Hubber asking for Liam Turner's bowl to run. Not quite going to get there. So for those just joining us, earlier on this round we had Mentone beating Altona for an away victory. Melbourne beating Lilydale for an away victory. Croydon at home have gotten over Yarraville Footscray by a small margin. Deer Park playing Clayton now. It's a 3:30 start there, so a later finish. We'll be getting close to results there, so feel free to put them in the chat if anybody is out that way. Jack high from Liam Turner, just not quite turning back in. So it's currently 3 to MCC, but plenty of bowls left to come this end. Mike getting a little edge, falling in not a bad home. It'll take the good results every now and again. Tino O'Neill continues on his merry way, picking up another 2. Played 13 ends there. They have a lead 16-10. Well, JR, we continue with our knack of picking the close rinks, 14 all.
14 all. It's a great comeback by MCC.
Absolutely, just after the halfway mark, so plenty of bowls still to come. Stick with us for your Saturday evening. Here in the Metropolitan Premier Division Round 13 match, brought to you by BCIB Insurance Brokers. If your club is looking for any insurance needs, BCIB is the place to go. Mike falls in behind.
That's what Benny Hubber does.
Starting to swing in.
That ball's going to be in the way.
We had the ideal weight too. Brought it forward a touch, so. See Luke Aiello over on the far rink. Punch the jack through.
Yep, right into the ditch.
Stays in though, so. Ryan Tibble says he's enjoying the call from you, Johnny Roberts.
Oh, Ryan's, well, I think he's over in Dubai, I think. Teaching over there, or he was.
There you go. Gary Kelly was all set up, ready to go. And then the Benny Hubbard bowl just falls of its own accord. There's a bit of a chuckle. The bowl just followed. My very poor Northern Irish accent. Needs to swing. It's doing that, but needs to get around as it does it. Gary Kelly says don't get caught, and it doesn't. Nestles past the Liam Turner bowl.
Yep.
Just behind the jack. We see on the replay. Don't know whether it took the slightest of edges, but if not, regardless, it gets in.
The lights are on.
Yep, Scotty Majon's put the hoodie on. Too many others have gone to that yet.
Corey just took the shot.
Brendan Gallagher on the drive. Eddie Marchioli was wise to that.
Yeah.
And up to rescue the errant bowl. So Gary Kelly now actually has a little bit more room. Needs to run the exact same bowl. Can afford to be a little bit narrow and rest in off the Scott Majon bowl.
Let's see if Gary can double up.
Of course, can afford to be a little wide, but does not want to be long, which he is. So that'll be one to Bundoora.
One. Just one.
Lovely bowl from Gary Kelly. And that stems a bit of the tide of 4 in a row.
Yep. Stop the MCC charge for a little while.
And narrowest of leads, 15-14.
Well, that's a great comeback.
And like we saw from MCC 4 or 5 ends ago, a little mid-green conference, Bundoora says, yep, it worked for you guys, so we're going to try and do the same.
Exactly.
J. Norris picks up another couple over there. It's 7-11 after 12 ends. Been a little while since we've had the Corey Wedlock board updated, but as soon as it is, we'll update that. I know it's been 23.5 for a little while. I think it's been all Bundoora. Can't quite see the Dean O'Neill rink. 16-10 was the last score I could see. Bit of a collection of bodies in front of it. Nice little opener from 80. Still 16-10 on the Dean O'Neill rink as per the scoreboard. And the good news is for the Brad Marin rink, they've just got that end.
Yep.
So we'll get an update now on the Corey Wedlock v Brad Marin rink. As we see Simon Norton.
24-7 on the Brad Marin rink.
I think there's a few more to go as they go back to the scoreboard. 28-7. And they're saying it's 13 ends, which take their word for it. But I thought it might have been one more, but
it's 28-7 on 15
ends.
Good start here by Simon.
Shouts of on your postie. The adoring Liam Turner crowd.
His dad. A few others.
His cricket club mates, I believe.
Yep.
Again, 2 good bowls from Simon Norton. It's putting the pressure on Bundoora. Just a few little patches of sun down at the head end.
Yeah.
Other than that, this could be pretty consistent. We see Scotty
Great bowl by
Majon
Scott.
absolutely find it beautifully. Beautiful night here. Sunny Melbourne.
Yep.
Freezing cold out at Clayton last night. It was a cool evening. We saw some players with beanies and hoodies and so on. As we look across the green here, there's the odd hoodie out or the odd jacket, but pretty much still shorts and t-shirt weather. 𝗣𝗿𝘁 coming in on a pretty good track here. Just needs to hold that line. It dips a little bit at the last second. Maybe good enough for second shot.
Second shot, I'll say.
It's hard to tell from this angle. 𝗣𝗿𝘁 gets some high fives, not only from the rink he's on, but also from one rink over. So, obviously enjoying his time here at Bundoora.
Yeah. What's Mike done? Bit short. But
asking it to hurry, and that's what we might find a little bit with this change in the sun disappearing.
There's players here from other clubs. There's Moonee Valley, Hurstbridge, Eltham, Kingsbury.
Why wouldn't you? Lovely spot to be. Jimmy's just joined us with a very good comment. 𝗣𝗿𝘁, the best bowler from Swan Hill, Murray Downs region. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely true.
I don't know if Joshy Thornton might join us, but Jimmy's never going to miss an opportunity. It's 𝗍𝗿𝘁. It's 2 pretty good bowls and still may not be in for shot. Magic Mike just drifting through the gap.
Plenty of options for Gary.
Here comes the Gary Kelly bowl. This is not a bad track here. Needs to cut hard now.
Right. Magnificent
a little edge
bowl.
off the Liam Turner bowl. And that is an absolute belter. There are a range of options there which to come in off. It's a high five, a little low five, almost a disaster there.
Just had a message from our most recent president, 𝗣𝗿𝘁, who's enjoying the game. Barb's back on the greens herself, playing and enjoying the game that she loves so much. I'm sure she's looking forward to this year's Vic Open.
She certainly will be. Back playing for Ocean Grove.
Yep.
Kelly following a similar track. Doesn't feel like there's too much danger that he can get involved in, and if anything, he can promote the 𝗣𝗿𝗁, but not quite wide enough for that, so no change.
Still a chance for Brendan to...
Richie Murray confirms Joshy Thornton is watching. So we'll see if he's got a witty comeback to the Jimmy Whitehead sledge. Of course, those two no stranger to sledging each other.
Oh, it's great attempt by
Brendan Gallagher.
Brendan. Skipping it really well.
𝗣𝗿𝗁 wants to have a look to see if this is
I was just wondering...
it seems to be a bit of a half-hearted look. Signals one, thank you.
Wonder how Jimmy's going. He's halfway through his birthing classes for the weekend. I'm sure he's having a great time and looking forward to Sunday.
He will be absolutely loving it.
Yeah. I'm sure he's got the crystals out.
Of course, expecting in April, I believe.
April,
so.
Yep.
Him and his lovely partner, Bryony.
Yep.
Fiancé, I should say. So 16-14, Bundoora up in this rink. So Gary Kelly over Brendan Gallagher. Next rink over, Corey Wedlock is up over Brad Marin, 28-7. Dean O'Neill up 16-10 over Scotty Mortimer.
And the last rink,
so it's
J-By's 9-11, so that's close.
Bit of a comeback there. So the Luke Arlo's picked up a few ends on the trot there. 3 of the last 4 ends, I should say. Played 13 ends. As we update the scoreboard, which gives us a 25-shot buffer for Bundoora RSL. So they changed things up a little bit. 𝗍𝗁𝗁 has brought the mat. Well, I don't know if it's probably 2 paces back, maybe JR from the mark, and then Julie puts the jack just before the pit. So very well done. Almost minimum length end.
Yep.
As the MCC boys kick all the bowls up. Jimmy just turning the screws a little harder for JT, so give him 15 minutes for him to come up, JT that is, to come up with a sledge back. 𝗍𝗁𝗁 favours this length by the look of that.
Yep.
A little nudge on the jack. Sits in behind. Simon Collett just saying Ray Jansen should be playing third in the top side. So I can tell you the MCC teams for those playing at home. J-By Norris's rig has Michael Wilson playing 3, Tris Doolan 2 and Dylan Morrison leading. Scotty Mortimer has Russell Green playing 3 with Maxie Goldsmith and Lloyd Yacarino leading. Just one rink over, we've got Bradley Marin who has Brett Layton and Tommy Ristic and Johnny Gallagher leading for MCC. And then Brendan Gallagher, Mike Haig, Scott Majon and Simon Norton. So no Ray Jansen in this week's side. Of course, played plenty of matches previously, so I'm not sure what the reason for that is. David Keenan just saying Richie Murray's the most current from the past. Wayne Roberts will be in the box seat, so there you go. Did not know Wayne Roberts was from up that way.
See what Liam does with this.
Liam Turner just clarifying.
Brody Harker's about to get shot.
80s this, the Brody Harker fan club grows.
Yeah.
Lucas Protopappas, I'm playing night Pennant at the moment, still have some coaching duties in basketball and my daughter's netball to keep me busy on Saturdays. Of course, my wife working on Saturdays. So, Joy Marshall, yes, there is. Trish Doolan is absolute stalwart of the MCC Bowls Club. She's playing over there in the J. By Norris rink. Of course, a state representative, state champion, and coach of the MCC Bowls Club. So, Joy, there certainly are women playing. Of course, last night we had Jess Wallace skipping for Lilydale. We had Kelly McKieran a rink or so over.
Yep.
So plenty of, just not on the stream in today's match. It's actually a really interesting rink last night, JR. We had John Snell, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, amazing.
Nice ball from Liam Turner. 2 seconds now for Bundoora.
Yep.
So Hall of Famer Johnny Snell, and I'm going to say he's won about 8 Richmond Masters singles. Of course, everything else, all these other accolades. We had Jess Wallace playing some great bowls as well. Oh, Scotty Majohn just gets a couple of little rubs and somehow finds his way through. So we do have some good variety on our streamed rinks, and of course we have a knack, an absolute knack for finding the close game. So this one's no exception.
MCC holding here.
David Keening just confirming Wayne Roberts was Manangatang, so there you go. Did not know that. Of course now with Yarraville Footscray, they've had a bit of a tough day today as we hear Yarraville Footscray. They've gone down to Croydon. Croydon, from what I have been told, I haven't seen the scores, but got one rink win, but got enough shots to, I think, win by 3 or 4 shots and get the overall. So
someone needs to get the scores on the bowls link. There's nothing there.
Sarah Roger, you are spot on, and I should remember that. And Lucas, gee, I'm getting corrected all over the place. We did. We had Vic Brackley, of course, on the stream rink for the Deer Park Yarraville match not long ago. We had Tash on last night, of course, one of Australia's best. So getting good coverage everywhere. We've had Gail Edwards on the stream rink previously. Thank you very much to those correcting me. Do appreciate it. Sarah Rogers saying Yarraville down by 3 overall, so that'll be a bit of a heartbreaker for Yarraville, and obviously a great result for Croydon. Speaking of great results, Mike Haig likes this one. Just gets the wrong side of the Marchioli bowl.
MCC's still holding shot, their lead. As
Mr. Simon Norton using the Henselite XG size 4. That's the light blue bowl you can see just in front of Jack. Second shot's a bit of a toss-up, but we're going to presume it's the Marchioli bowl just behind the Jack, in line with the Jack. If it's not, it's the Liam Turner bowl out on the wing. Gary Kelly on the forehand. With purpose.
A little bit of weight.
To take the Norton bowl out,
great.
does that, edges the jack.
End of end.
Just trickles out of bounds.
Yep. Replay. Back down the other end.
As is the want.
So, Dean O'Neill's now 20-10 after 14 ends.
So must have picked up a 4 there because our rinks are on point. So, he's had a couple of 4s today, Dean O'Neill, but more importantly, that's 6 ends in a row, 7 of the last 8 for the Dean O'Neill rink.
Another 2 to Corey. That makes it 30-7 on 17 ends.
There you go. Tommy Ristic has actually just placed the bat for Bundoora.
That's what?
Tommy Ristic for MCC just placed the mat for Bundoora. They've obviously been sticking with that mat position for a while, and he worked over, picked up the mat and put it down. And Tony Chervello straightened it a little, but so there you go. They have been playing that game plan for quite a while on that Wedlock rink. Mat on the tee and then a nice short end.
Yep.
Whether it's that spot in the green they like, I don't know, but I tell you what, they've been able to find it very, very nicely. As soon as they update that board, we'll update ours. 𝗣𝗿𝗁 comes in on a pretty good track.
Good track.
You can see how quickly these bowls are pulling up now. Very similar to his first bowl on this end before they killed it. A little nudge on the jack. J-Boy Norris picks up a couple for MCC. Played 14 ends now.
Now 2 shots to MCC.
Simon Norton.
Simon's
very
played
impressive.
very well.
Probably the
Excellent
last
ball.
8 or maybe 9 ends. He's had the better of 𝗣𝗁, who hasn't been going badly, I might add, but Simon's just been going extra
just picked
good.
up 2. It's 9-13.
Liam just helps up the Marchioli bowl.
Yep.
Good teammate.
Now shot.
Scotty Mortimer not too happy, just giving the mat a little gentle throw as he drops a 3 there.
Dean's just picked up another 1.
You can see the idea there from Scotty Mijon, just trying to remove that Marchioli bowl. Benny Hubber on the mat, on the forehand. Be looking to
Nice
sit.
gentle roll.
It is.
It's coming through the back, which would be
a bit. It's not a bad home.
happy. Yep.
Ideally, he's probably
happy
looking
with
to
that.
sit on that Simon Norton bowl. Okay, looks like he'll remove a 𝗣𝗁 bowl, but no change. Benny Hubba still rocking the sunglasses, JR?
Yeah.
He's a cool cat.
There's a cool cat.
Whoa, Jack goes forward.
Yeah, that's unusual.
That has gone 10 yards forward and a little bit sideways on the Corey Wedlock ring, so they'll set up again. Don't often see a Jack go forward, certainly not that far. As Benny Hubba changes hands on the backhand now.
I like the line.
Yep, handy home. Still holding one here, Bundoora.
So, overall scores at this stage, Bundoora 76, MCC 44, and we've played 58 of 84 ends.
So we see the Corey Wedlock scoreboard tick over again. It's saying 31-7 after
on 17.
And that rink alone is responsible for the bulk of this margin. They're having an absolute day out. It's Tony 𝗣𝗿𝘁 leading. Brody Harker is 2. Josh Corliss 3. And of course Corey Bear Wedlock.
Look at that bowl. Beautiful.
Just had 80 getting in the road of the camera there. I'll have to give him a little kick up the you know what for that. Not convinced it's shot. In fact, Mike Haig, I think, has just signalled that he favours they're still holding one.
Got one.
So it's a good effort from Gary Kelly, but Sarah Rogers saying that's why she always covers the front. Very smart, Sarah. You are an absolute genius. And of course, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Those forward jacks, you've got to cover them, don't you? That's maybe the strategy I should use. I'm going to drop them in short. Well,
wow.
This is how MCC are going against the Corey Wedlock team at the moment.
I just drove.
A lead driving.
Lead drove.
It's actually, I made a look at, I haven't been involved in the tactics on that ring, but Tony 𝗍𝗿𝘁's got one close and one about 2 feet short, so I'm not totally sure whether it's just a bit of frustration. But John Gallagher has driven at that. Very interesting.
Let's see if Tommy Rissick can do something about it.
He's performed very, very well at Bendigo this week in the over 60s. Certainly put down a lot of bowls, that's for sure. Taking the title of the over 60s men's singles. Judah Nadella taking the women's singles title. Gary Kelly on pretty good country here. A little touch on his own. Oh, well, just hit the front 𝗣𝗁𝘁 bowl. And if there was any doubt, overshot. Rocked in the Simon Norton one. One to MCC.
Yep.
played 15 ends here. It's 16-15. I'm not sure what's happened on the Dean O'Neill rink. The scoreboard before said 23-10 and now says 21-10. So we will just double check that. And we'll correct in due course. So for those playing at home, it might not be 23-10 for Dean O'Neill. It might be only 21-10. Put it back to 21 for the time being, just to follow the scoreboard.
Yep.
But I won't be surprised if that gets updated again. Lovely opener. Simon Norton gives himself a little come on. He's up and about, as he should be. He's been bowling very, very well. Errant bowl coming across from the 𝗣𝗿𝗿 rink. Brad Marin's resorted to the hoodie as well. Players starting to feel a bit of the cool. Brett Layton's got the hoodie as well. Julie's just asked a question, JR, she's watching from Sale, and she loves the streaming and asks, when the marquee players come in, do the original skips go to thirds?
No.
We have a little bit of that with Bundoora, with 𝗣𝗿𝗿 and Gary Kelly not being able to play every match, so there is a little bit of movement every now and again. We saw Benny Hubbard played a skip last week. Of course, he's playing 3 to Gary Kelly. Josh Corliss played a skip last week as well. So
it's not automatic, but you would expect the marquee players to be the best players in your team, so therefore they most likely would be skipping.
Yep, it's a good question, Julie.
Yeah, good question. That's another good bowl by Scott.
And that is a beautiful bowl.
2 good bowls, Scott.
Great leading from Simon Norton with 1 on and 1 behind, and a cracker of a opener from Scotty Majon. A little tickle on the jack, back to the waiting Simon Norton bowl. Like MCC may have picked up a couple over on the 𝗣𝗿𝗁 Norris rink. It's now 15 to 9. They've played 15 ends, so they've caught up a little bit. After having a number of dead ends early. Scotty Majon has a very good memory.
Great bowling.
Lovely.
Great bowling MCC. Just roll over, knock another bowl over. 3 easy shots.
See on the replay here, this one comes in nicely, falls in. Tickle on his own bowl, fall and fall like dominoes. That is 3 shots, MCC. So we see Bundoora pick up 1 on the Dean O'Neill rink. So when they update this scoreboard, we'll let you know. We're presuming the 21-10 is correct because it has been on there for quite some time now. So if Dean O'Neill picks up 1, that'll make it 22-10. But we'll wait until they turn it over just to be sure. Jimmy Whitehead just asking who our tip is for the BPL. JR, I'll go first, and I'll say it'll be Melbourne teams in the final. Don't so much mind if Moama Steamers are in there as well. Given they're an affiliated Victorian club, that it'll be an all-Victorian final, I'm pretty sure.
I think the Melbourne team will be strong. I suspect Ospreys will win again.
They are pretty good, Tweedheads Ospreys. Of course, Sunbury Extreme, the new team in. There's a
new team
Tasmanian team that's coming. I think they're called the Tridents.
The Tasmanian Tridents.
So there's 2 additional teams in the BPL, so looking forward to seeing some of the action. Of course, Bowls Australia will stream that, and it'll be on Fox Sports.
And KO.
KO, absolutely. Luke Piper, thank you very much, my man. Deer Park is up 58-52, but only 1 rink in front.
Wow.
So there you go. Sarah Roger, you are correct. The Tweed side has won the last couple. Of course, Aaron T's Chloe Stewart. She's a Victorian. Trying to think of who the third player is. They're coached by Turles. Somebody will remind me in the chat if I can't find it quick enough. It's not Corey Wedlock, is it? Could well be. It's pretty hard to find a weak link among that combination. Turles, the super coach. Chloe Stewart, one of the better draw bowlers going around. And if I'm correct in my thinking that it's Aaron Tees and Corey Wedlock, well, gee, they are 2 of the best. Jimmy Whitehead just confirming it is Corey, so there you go. They will be very hard to beat, but I'm going to stick with my original prediction. I'm going to say it'll be Dandenong Club v Sunbury final. Jimmy just ribs JT a little bit more, wondering if Perth will be in last place given they're coached by Joshy Thornton. Haven't heard a comeback from Josh Thornton, so whether he's maybe still weeping into his cereal after that first little jibe from Jimmy Whitehead. Look forward to seeing what JT can come up with. So MCC still holding 3 here. How much weight will Benny Hubber play? It's enough, but not a lot. Looks like it's going to be a little narrow. It's enough weight to lose the bowl, but obviously didn't run at it. See what Chocolates can do. Sarah Roger just saying the score at Deer Park now 60-55 after 65 ends.
We've played 62 ends here.
I thought they were a 3:30 start at Deer Park, so that surprises me if they're on 65 ends and we're on 62 here, given we started an hour and a half later. So I might have had that start time wrong as the Benny Hubber bowl.
Oh dear.
Gets not the result he wanted.
Promoted another MCC bowl into the head. I think they're holding 4.
Josh Corliss in with a great draw bowl, 1 rink over. I can confirm that Dean O'Neill rink is 22-10.
Yep.
Played 16 ends. So either my fat fingers added to the wrong column, and the ends were one heavy over the score, or I'm just not seeing things straight. Either way, it's currently 22-10 to Dean O'Neill as Brendan Gallagher continues the damage. Little touch on the jack, but no danger.
What Gary Kelly will do to this. Nice little collection around the jack. Here we go. Missed a lot.
Bundoora just struggling with their weighted shots tonight. Jimmy Whitehead just confirming it was changed to a 5 p.m. start at Deer Park, so that makes sense if they're on 65 ends and we're on a similar-ish, we're on 63, so thank you, Jimmy, appreciate that. Sarah Roger saying it actually changed to 5:30 in the end, so somewhere after 5 they're playing at Deer Park. Regardless of all that, the score out there is 60 to 55 and they're 65 ends through, and looks like Deer Park and Clayton having a ding-dong battle.
Like Corey for another one.
Brendan Gallagher opting for a bit of cover here. He knows Gary Kelly's going to go with Wade. Unfortunately for Brendan Gallagher, he just collected a 𝗣𝗿𝗁 wide bowl. So Gary Kelly, we expect big weight here. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Not only has that taken out the front
That's
Adrian Marchioli bowl, it's then
5.
taken out the next one. So 𝗣𝗿𝗁's bowl was the closest. That's 5 to MCC. Shouts of no, no, no from Gary Kelly as he is a bit wayward with the drive. Just amend this camera down here. We'll pan to the side. So the boys from MCC have decided to change things up. Brought the mat back. So what's been a very close affair has now got a bit of a margin for MCC, courtesy of a 5 there. Well, they haven't had the best of it. They've had a nice little purple patch in the middle of this game where they put 4 ends in a row together, but more importantly, they picked up 2 5s and a 4, so they have had some big ends. Andy Thompson saying hi from Devon in the UK. Evening, Andy. Or morning for you, I'd imagine. Nice to have you joining us. And here's the reason for the pressure on Bundoora. Simon Norton has continued to do exactly what he's just done here. Adrian Marchioli, that is how you're correct. And the Bundoora faithful are happy with that. From 2 down to 1 up. A very nice bowl. See what the postie can do. Liam Turner. Yep. Chrissy Johnson says, love seeing you play second, Liam Turner. And the crowd here don't mind it too, particularly when he puts them in like that. Scotty Majohn's just pulled this one slightly. And a cut under the head, he won't be pleased with that one, but it's been very good lately. Scotty Mortimer picks up 3. MCC pick up more shots on the 𝗣𝗿𝘁 rink. Looks to have been a few. In fact, it was more than a few. After 16 ends, it's now 9-19. So 𝗣𝗿𝘁 continuing on his merry way. Well, Mike Haig, as soon as he let that go, looked up to the heavens.
Yep.
Could tell that one was a little wide. MCC have cut this margin back a bit.
They certainly have.
Got out in the mid-20s earlier.
Yep.
Back down to 19 shots now. Courtesy of a couple of big scores.
Plenty of ends to go.
Absolutely. Saw a 5 here on the streamed ring. A 4 for 𝗣𝗿𝘁. Scotty Mortimer picked up a 3. Benny Hubbers ditched the Sunnies. Gets it away smooth as silk, Benny Hubber. Touch short. See if Mike Haig can correct after his last one. Certainly narrower. It's going to be a touch too narrow, just will get some action though. Rattles around and in for second shot. Gary Kelly just asking Benny Hubber to use the Liam Turner bowl. Just under where he wanted. Weight was very good. A little rock on the Mike Haig bowl, but no change. Still 1 to Bundoora. Might be only 1 now, just after that little movement. Yeah, correct. It is some great leading tonight from both sides, but in particular Simon Norton. And as you say, what we are enjoying tonight is all the players staying out of the picture. We did have a difficult night last night at times. Some of the Lilydale players so engrossed in the game they weren't quite seeing it. Speaking of engrossed in the game, Brendan Gallagher has just played an absolute beauty. Some high fives from his teammates.
Yeah, great ball.
Straight through the middle. Halves the jack out to the side. And follows it through. It's hard to tell from here whether or not it's going to be one or two, but I'm going to say it's only one, but
yeah, hard to tell. Could be two.
Josh Corliss, a little cameo. Rocks in from a rink over. So we see a jack go splashing into the pit there, courtesy of a Brad Marin drive.
They picked up one.
So Gary Kelly playing with purpose.
Oh.
Well, a little bit of skittles there, not the result he wanted.
But it's out there. It's out in the open.
Mike Haig just rugby style turfs the bowl back to Scott Majon. Tossed his rag with it. Couldn't catch them both. Natalie Cole's got the bug again. Good on you, Nat. Good to see you back playing. Can certainly emulate Benny Hubbard's style.
That's a great ball.
Brendan Gallagher finding form. Difficult to tell how many MCC are holding. I favour it's 2 and a measure. We'll see if we can get an indication here from Benny Hubbard. Close for the third, he says.
Two and a measure. Could be 3 down.
So Gary Kelly is going to have to come up with a big bowl here. MCC's got the last 2 ends on this streamed rink, including a 5 on the very last end. It's not a bad track. Needs to hook in now.
Yep.
A little move off there is not a bad thing.
Maybe 1 down.
Closer than we think. And he's going to put a tape on it. Deer Park leading 63-58 over Clayton. Thank you very much, Sarah Roger. We do appreciate it.
It's 1. Could be 2.
It is 2 to MCC. They continue their habit of adding multiples, so 3 ends in a row. We have played 17 ends here. 22-16. So after being down around 14-5, MCC, courtesy of Brendan Gallagher, were able to get it back to 14 all. And they've been on their merry way from there. A few shots for MCC on the Brad Marin rink. up a few as well. So, bit of a charge here from MCC. Scotty Moama getting successive ends there. Still trailing 16-22, but things are looking up for MCC as they've closed this gap to 11. One stage we were out around 25. Jimmy Whitehead JR's just left the commentary, but I can tell you, I can confirm he does make a mean sandwich. Catered for a 𝗣𝗿𝘁 meeting, a region meeting not long ago. Many, many talents. So, turning out to be a very good match here after Bundoora skipped away. MCC really piling the pressure back on in this Metropolitan Premier Division round 13 match. Liam Turner just narrowly sails through. Nice little compact head here. Of course, the Metropolitan Premier Division brought to you by BCIB Insurance Brokers. Terrific supporters of bowls. Running after this one. Likes it. Looks to be dipping a bit too far though. Does not want to nudge in that bowl and just misses. No harm, no foul. So 𝗣𝗿𝘁's got some options here. He can roll in the Liam Turner bowl, come in under it. And one of the options is just to take the jack straight through. Beautiful bowl. We'll catch this on the replay. 𝗣𝗿𝘁 tracking the jack straight through. Good country there. He's got 𝗍𝗍 in front of him and Liam Turner behind him. So it's turned a potential one down. It was pretty close for a measure, but there's no doubt now it's at least 1 to Bundoora. It's at least 2 to Bundoora. It's probably 3 to Bundoora. Could even be 4. Still with bowls to come, of course. Mike Haig still has one, and then both skippers. And that's why Natalie Cole is back interested in bowls. Good on you. MCC pick up another one on the Brad Marin rink. I don't know how many shots yet. We'll wait for the scoreboard. They pick up another end. So scoreboard showing 20 ends. So unless they killed it that I didn't see. So we'll wait for confirmation there. So, good effort from Chocolates. Whether or not the call is for 𝗣𝗿𝘁 to follow his last bowl down and try and sit out the Mike Hague bowl. 𝗣𝗿𝘁 picks up another one. Not a bad effort from 𝗣𝗿𝘁. Still doesn't change anything. On to Bundoora. Brendan Gallagher doesn't have a lot to work with. On his left-handed backhand, so forehand is his only real option. This is going to hook in nicely. No, caught it a bit early. Really did hoop near the end. Even if he can get through to that 𝗣𝗿𝘁 bowl, the danger is the jack goes back to Liam Turner's bowl. He'll be trying to spit it a little bit further wider. Back to the Simon Norton bowl. So got his work cut out for him. Gary Kelly going for the Hague bowl. Well, probably not how he designed it. Trying to edge that in. Don't think it's changed it though. I think it's still one Bundy. Gallagher just resetting, wiping a little mark off the bowl. Turns his back on it. Hooks in pretty hard. So you see a dead end on the Marin Wedlock rink. This prompts a little conference from 𝗣𝗿𝘁 and Gary Kelly over just what the best option is. Gary Kelly. Interestingly enough, a chat around the head, he gets all the way back and then decides the shot. It's not a bad track here. Unfortunately, we've just got Liam Turner's head in the road. Edges out the black ball from Mike Hague. And gets the applause. So we're taking one out. We're taking two out. Just confirming, I didn't quite see the signal. Yeah, looks to have been 3 to Bundoora. So that against the tide. It's a big end for Bundoora. Played 18 ends. $19.22. Dean O'Neill picks up a couple. So just as MCC were on a bit of a run, Bundoora fight back. Expert jack rolling there from 𝗣𝗿𝘁. So Luke Aiello on the drive again over the other side of the green. Didn't get the result though. That's another one for MCC over there. One more to MCC on the 𝗣𝗿𝘁 rink. They played 18 ends. $21-9 lead to 𝗣𝗿𝘁's rink. Well, what a display. And how often it's been in this streamed rink that whoever's peppered the jack as a lead has come home with a result in that particular end. The Bundoora lead, 𝗍𝗿𝘁, has put in a couple of absolute belters, and Simon Norton has responded the best way possible. Used the two of them. I'm not brave enough to call who's got shot just there now. But an absolutely brilliant response from Simon Norton. Sarah Roger letting us know. Thank you very much, Sarah. Deer Park 70-66 after 78 ends. So half a dozen ends to go there. And 4 shots in it. See what Scott Michon can do. Using the opposition bowl very nicely. And Liam Turner says, anything you can do. Looks a bit narrow, cuts across the head, and Unfortunately for Scotty Majon, he removes his teammate's bowl. He won't be too pleased with that one. Asking it for it to hold. It's a very good effort. It's close for second, but Scotty Majon not having a good end. He's taken his teammate's bowl out and then plopped himself in front of the camera. So not ideal. Obviously a little lost in the game. Matty Renix, that is Simon Norton. Good track for Benny Hubbard, a bit too much speed, but if the aim was to sit that bowl, that is about perfect. If there was any doubt earlier. Wind's just started to kick up a little here too. Mike Haig, unfortunately, just edging in a Bundoora bowl, so this end not panning out the way MCC were hoping. Of course, all is not lost. They still have two Brendan Gallagher bowls. Kelly providing a bit of cover. Corey Wedlock bowls another absolute bomb over there. It's 31-10. Was the last bowl of the night. And he's given them more shots. Let's see what Brendan Gallagher can do here. Just didn't seem to turn at that pace. He wasn't going to come back far enough. Realises he's in the way and quickly runs it out of the way. So Gary Kelly already has cover. Interesting to see what the play is here. Change. Just awaiting that final score. Corey Wedlock rink. I can tell you it's a large margin to Bundoora. So they picked up a 4 on the final end. take that one out 35-10. Now let's see what Brendan Gallagher can do. Playing with weight. He's got, well, he's probably a bit unfortunate there. He hit the drive quite well, just didn't get enough out. That's another 3 to Bundoora, successive 3s on our streamed rink. We've got 2 to go and we are locked at 22 apiece. We have an absolute knack of picking the close rinks. And after MCC, we're able to get back within 11. We've seen Bundoora just skip away again. Having said that, 𝗣𝗿𝘁 has just picked up a few. They've played 20 ends there now. It is 24-19, still in favour of Dean O'Neill over 𝗣𝗿𝘁. No lines where 𝗍𝗿𝘁 is. They brought the mat up that far, so he's just asking, am I anywhere near the centre line? Penny Hubber obliging. Saying a few inches to the right, please, my man. So just repeating in matches last night, Mentone had a good away win against Altona. Melbourne have had a 40-odd shot victory over Lilydale. Croydon have got up by a very slender 3 or 4 shots over Yarraville Footscray. And Deer Park Clayton is underway at the moment. It's currently 70-66 with a half a dozen ends to play. And here with Bundoora being at home to MCC, we've seen Corey Wedlock's rink get up 35-10. It's the only rink that has finished so far. Other scores on your screen, Dean O'Neill leading 24-19 after 20 ends. 𝗍𝗿𝗁 from MCC up comfortably over Luke Aiello, 21-9. They've played 18 ends. And here on the streaming rink, we've got an absolute belter. And MCC, Bundoora locked 22 apiece. Two nice bowls from Adrian Marchioli. Both coming back to the centre line nicely, a little bit behind the jack. Not a problem there at all. Simon Norton holding shot. See, not a bad home there for Liam Turner. See what 𝗣𝗿𝘁 can do. Guess it's a little high, his body language. Comes back quite nicely, nestles in among the Bundoora bowls. Probably not a bad home there for 𝗣𝗿𝘁, given Bundoora's got a wall of 4 there behind the jack. More legs, that was a very good bowl. As it is, it's not a bad bowl at all. Gary Kelly just signalling it's still one down. That'll be good enough for second shot from 𝗣𝗿𝗁. Okay, playing with a bit of purpose here. Brings in the Simon Norton bowl. Don't think it's going to have changed too much, to be honest. Might have skipped through. 𝗣𝗿𝗁 with a bit more weight on his last. Lovely bowl. Just uses his first bowl. An errant tennis ball come out on the green. There you go. Not every day you have a tennis ball pop onto the green during a Premier Division match. Courtesy of a couple of young fellas playing on the synthetic green. So Mike Haig looks to be on not a bad track. Doesn't have the legs, doesn't. So Bundoora holding one. Collection of Bundoora bowls there. A couple of MCC ones, but nonetheless, the 𝗣𝗿𝗁 bowl is the shot bowl. 𝗣𝗿𝗁's picked up a few shots over there for Bundoora. Another good effort from Brendan Gallagher. He's been pretty strong tonight. Speaking of 𝗣𝗿𝗁, as he picked up a 3 on the last end. There's a bit of action over there now. Gary Kelly gets another one in. Little walk off the Mike Haig bowl. Still bowls to come over on that 𝗣𝗿𝗁 rink. But all of a sudden, you see this margin just trickle back out to 21. Shouts of both from Brendan Gallagher. He does exactly that. What an absolute bomb. Both Bundoora bowls gone. Closest Bundoora bowl will be 𝗣𝗿𝗁's. Question of whether or not it's 1, 2 or 3 really. What an absolutely beautiful bowl from Brendan Gallagher. Shouts of both from the skipper's mouth as he lets it go and does exactly that. Benny Hubbard just calling for the umpire. Looks to be pretty close. They've rolled out 2 already. Sarah Roger, thank you very much for that update. Deer Park just getting a bit of a margin now on Clayton. It's only 6 shots, but 2 ends to play. And all that excitement, we saw Scotty Mortimer pick up 1. Still a 4-shot margin, 4-shot victory I should say, to Dean O'Neill, so 24-20. But a good comeback by the Scotty Mortimer rink. They picked up 10 shots in the last, or 4 of the last 5 ends, so turn that one around from where it was. So 24-10, Dean O'Neill over Scott Mortimer. And I reckon 𝗣𝗿𝘁 has just bowled a Terminator. I just caught that out of the corner of my eye, and that was absolutely hopping down the green. So obviously had some front bowls. So we see Tommy Ristic getting in camera. He did say he was going to do that. He said, I'm an over 60 state champion. I can do what I like. Of course, I wasn't going to argue with him. I don't quite understand why the Terminator from 𝗣𝗿𝘁, and obviously having a bit of a giggle. So for those that don't know, the Terminator is when instead of rolling the bowl on the bias, you roll it on the anti-bias if you like, and it literally leapfrogs down the green. And there are stories and tales that it's been used before to try and get over some front bowls. Of course, we'll never know if they're indeed true. As we see Jack Woodhouse come out and complete the measure here. So this one must be quite close. We believe they've taken 2 out already. This is to ascertain whether it's 2 or 3. So the trammels are out. Calipers to try and determine who's got shot. And another one for Bundoora, so it was just 2 in the end. So we were 22 apiece. Bundoora picks up another one. We've now played 20 ends on this streamed rink, so 1 end to come. It'll be 24-22. MCC taking the lead over Gary Kelly's rink. Just trying to get a vision on that scoreboard. It looks like it was 1 to 𝗣𝗿𝘁. Don't know, can't confirm that it was the Terminator bowl that did it, but so the overall probably isn't in too much doubt now. Pretty hard to see them making 18 shots with only 2 ends left. Of course, I'm being a little facetious. They can't do that, but there are still some rink points on offer. MCC will pick up the rink of 𝗣𝗿𝘁. Bundoora will pick up the rink of Dean O'Neill, Corey Wedlock. And at this stage, Brendan Gallagher holds the honours here on this rink over Gary Kelly. Too kind, Funky. Just trying not to sound silly. Simon Norton continues his good vein of form. He's been leading very, very well tonight. The first probably 5 or 6 ends, I think Adrian Marchioli had the better of him. After that, it's either been Simon or level. So, and that is saying something, because Adrian Marchioli is a heck of a draw bowler. As we see from that, his last bowl of the night, barring a dead end, of course. We'll Keep you updated on the Deer Park Clayton match too. As we mentioned earlier, it's 73-67 with 2 ends to play. That was close to 10 minutes ago, so must be very close there. If Sarah Rogers listening, she can give us an update on where that one's at. Of course, as I said, wins to Mentone over Altona, Melbourne over Lilydale, and Croydon over Yarraville Footscray earlier in this round. So just 2 matches to go in the BCIB Insurance Brokers Metropolitan Premier Division. Deer Park got up for the victory, so thank you very much, Sarah Roger. You are not only a lovely person, but a wealth of information for us tonight. We do appreciate it. So a bit of a miss there from Liam Turner. Playing the exact shot that his skipper called into play. There's one area for Bundoora to improve in what will probably end up being a 15 to 20 shot victory is their weighted shots. Tonight they just haven't been on song, whether it's been Liam who's played a few of them as second, which is unusual in itself, but Benny Hubber and Gary Kelly have just been a little off target tonight. And usually a very strong part of their game. So having said that, Liam Turner catches the bowl he wants, and now Bundoora hold, courtesy of the Marchioli bowl that's in behind. Sarah Roger tells us she's just waiting on the final score, so thank you very much, Sarah. We appreciate that. Look forward to hearing it. Can't have been much in it. As we said, there was only half a dozen shots in it with a couple of ends to play. Sarah just giving up her sources, saying she's getting updates, so she can't take the credit. We do appreciate you relaying them onto us, though. You are integral in this link. So what can Chocolates do? It's coming in on a pretty good track if it's got the steam, but it's just failing under the nighttime air. So no change. Benny Hubber collects his bowl halfway down the rink. Passed to him by his lead, Adrian Marchioli. And he has 2 bowls to come for the evening. Good track if it's got the steam. Similar to what we just saw with the Mike Haig bowl. Just needed to push him up a little harder. Certainly got a bit more steam on this one. Mike likes it. Brendan encouraging it to drop in. I reckon it's done enough for shot. Still a fair bit of room there, both for Benny Hubber and then the 2 skips. See what Benny Hubber can do with this Ensolite Dreamline XG. Calling for it to go. Not sure if it's done enough. The boys, Bundoora don't seem overly excited. Looks like 𝗣𝗿𝗁 and Luke Aiello have 1 bowl to come each over there. They might have a synchronised finish the way we're going. Brendan Gallagher is in pretty good country there. certainly enough for one. Could well be two. Probably a bit concerned about that knocking the Mike Haig bowl out. But might have given it just a little tickle, but really no movement. So what can Gary Kelly do? And really the question from Gary Kelly is how can I make two or three? Obviously the rink points are important, particularly when Bundoora sitting second on the ladder and MCC sitting third. A little bit of movement out of today's matches. Melbourne will come up. Getting a bit of advice from 𝗣𝗿𝘁. Of course, club mates from Warilla in New South Wales. Play a lot of bowls against each other, including a singles final at Ballina not too long ago. So 𝗣𝗿𝘁 walking off the green with a 35-10 victory is not a bad man to be asking for advice. Speed's good. Needs to turn. Well, takes one out of the equation, so not good enough, not in far enough for shot, I should say. See what Brendan Gallagher can do. So 𝗍𝗍𝘁 steps up for the last bowl of the match over there on the far rink. It is a draw shot, so there won't be any dead ends. It's got a little bit of weight to it, but it's not a full-blooded 𝗍𝗍𝘁 drive. Having said that, he has squeezed the jack out. You would not believe it. That is a dead end. Brendan Gallagher with an absolute beauty. You see the replay here. Brendan Gallagher in the absolute ideal A1 track. Just a little back hopper. It's probably about an inch between the jack and that bowl, which makes it very difficult for Gary Kelly. There is not much chance of a drive. If he does, he's going to look to come through Benny Hubbard bowl or Simon Norton one, because the lineup's just not there for down that middle line. Well, he knows what he wants to try and do. How easy it is a different story. So as much as I said 𝗍𝗍𝘁 was not trying to kill that end, he certainly was not playing very familiar driving weight that he's been doing tonight. It was just... I'm going to call it heavy draw. That's my terminology. There you go. But he got the bowl onto jack absolutely in the right angle, and it's straight out of bounds. Sarah Roger, thank you very much. 80-67 was the Deer Park victory as Gary Kelly winds up hard. Well, I think that was always going to happen. There was never really an opportunity for that to kill. Nonetheless, looks like Bundoora one down. Players all shake hands, so we won't be able to see the 𝗍𝗿𝘁 rink, but by the time I finish summarising here, we'll see if we can get a result there. I will just try and confirm whether that was 1 to MCC, so I can try and get anyone's eye. No, just missed Mike's there. Yep, Mike Haig confirms that was 1 to MCC, so that'll be a 3-shot victory to the MCC rink, skipped by Brendan Gallagher, 25-22. Rink wins earlier to Dean O'Neill from Bundoora over Scotty Mortimer, 24-20. And a big margin, 𝗣𝗿𝘁 over Brad Marin, Bundoora beating MCC on that rink, 35-10. Wins in this round, as I've said, to Mentone, who got an away win over Altona. Melbourne, who got an away win over Lilydale. Croydon got in at home over Yarraville Footscray. Deer Park have got up over Clayton, 80-67. And this will be a Bundoora victory. It's currently 16 shots, the difference. There is still one rink playing their last end. Obviously, that's not going to change the overall result. So we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on the stream tonight. This has been Bowls Victoria's BVTV Game Day. Bundoora RSL v MCC, brought to you by Moama Bowls Club. And of course, this is the Metropolitan Premier Division. From BCIB Insurance Brokers, a good win to Bundoora. Keep up to date with the Bowls Vic website for all your final scores. Jump onto Bowls Link and see the results of each and every rink. We look forward to seeing you next week at Mentone v Yarraville, Saturday 26th of February, 4 p.m. Of course, our thanks to Johnny Roberts for assisting in commentary, Bundoora RSL for hosting us, and of course Brad from SEN, who has made sure the production goes as smoothly as possible. Enjoy the rest of your night, ladies and gents. We'll see you next Saturday evening. Thank you.